21 minutes now before the hour. Head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer, Coach Adam Fossett, joins us this morning. Coach, good morning to you. A little foggy outside, isn't it?
Good morning. It is.
Moving from 2A to 3A, some people say, well, what's the big deal about that? What is the big deal about it?
Enrollment obviously sets that. Based on enrollment, I think we're the fourth smallest 3A. So you look at the spectrum between the numbers of 3A and just more bodies to choose from, more athletes, possibly more teams that'll have guys playing one side of the ball, more depth. So
you kind of expected this, though, right?
Yeah. Just based on numbers, I think within the first week of school we had like 42 or 47 kids enroll. So I kind of felt like it was going to happen. I know the 7th and 8th grade, the two previous 7th and 8th grade bunches were big, and they were going to be in on the count this year. 9 through 11. So it's just something you prepare for, and you hope. You hope you're wrong. You hope your math doesn't math. But
so what does this basically mean for BB Comer from 2A to 3A?
Just different challenges. I think it's going to be a good thing for us. I think it's going to be a challenge, obviously, for us. You look at the past couple seasons, and you look at last year, and a 13 in one year, and then you lose 12 seniors. So it's truly small town high school football in the sense that you're going to have those big classes that come through, and then you're going to have some smaller classes. So our junior class is a little bit smaller. We have a decent sized 10th grade class, but like our current 8th grade class is like 4 kids.
That's not good.
No, we don't have very many 8th graders at all that are playing football, and even in that 8th grade bunch, that's a huge. I think there's 75 8th graders.
Wow.
But like 48 of them are females. So we have a big female class coming up.
You're going to have to recruit some of the ladies.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some of them out for sure. But, and for us, as far as the program goes, it's just, continuing to work and continuing to get better. The household names that everybody's used to are going to be different. And you're going to hear a few of the same names, but you're going to hear new names. And we've got some guys that are going to have to step up and be ready to play. So you lose 4 out of 5 offensive linemen. You're losing a 3-time All-State running back. You're losing a 2-time All-State quarterback in DB. So the guys like Ray Sims and Richard Weed and Datron Wells, those guys are going to have to step up.
And names that we recognize because they played a lot for you already.
Yeah, they've already played a lot. And then you look on the offensive and defensive fronts. We all know about Caden Brown. Caden's he's going to be the veteran leader in that group. He'll be a junior next year. But then you've got who's going to fill those spots. So you're going to hear Tylen Parishes of the world and Josh Ruiz and a couple of guys like that we've got to depend on. We got a couple of young guys, Taj Hughes and Bakari Borden, that are working hard, but we got to see if they can, what can they do when they're thrown in the mix and get ready to play. So
there is new schools that you'll be facing for the very first time, and a lot of people say, well, why the schedule change? Well, when you move from 2A to 3A, it just happens.
Yeah, your region changes, and I enjoy that aspect of it. I think. Sometimes, and you look at some of these regions, and some of the regions are very spread out. I'm glad we're not in the same region as Vincent. Vincent has to go to Aliceville and to Sulligent. So that's a lot of travel.
That's a long way.
Yeah, that's a long way. So, but we have some teams that we used to play in the past. Some teams that I'm familiar with in my past, and so we go to Randolph County. We play Beulah. Chillsburg's in our region, Daville's in our region, so we have some of those familiar teams, and then you have new teams like Lee Scott, who's coming in from AHSAA. They won the state championship in AHSAA last year.
What's the differences in like Scott and BB Comer as far as, you know, a lot of people say, well, they're a private school. How does that work?
Yeah, you know, Lee Scouts, they're private school. They're in the Opelika, Auburn area, and they are, you know, they're a private school. It's tuition to get in. They're able to kind of pull some kids, you know, into the program and kind of work some different things that we're not able to do as far as a AHSAA public school. You know, they don't have a zone. You know, they don't have an area to pull from. So they can have kids from Opelika, they can have kids from Auburn, they can have kids from Beauregard. So it just depends on, you know, that family making a choice to go there. So and then down the road in Smith Station is Glenwood, and they're going to be they're in our region as well. So that's going to be unique. We don't know very much about either one of those teams, and trying to figure out some things like that. And what they do and how they function. Our non-region schedule is kind of that's the interesting aspect of it, because of the past we've had, finding non-region games was tough. So we opened up with Wadley here, and Wadley's a 1A, but they're very, very stout 1A. You know, they have a running back that's really, really good. I think he just picked up a Tennessee offer as a junior. So he's getting some SEC offers and things like that. But play Wadley at home, and then we go play Vincent, which we're familiar with Vincent. And then week 5 we play at Piedmont, and we wrap up the season here against Thorsby for our non-region games. So the Thorsby game, Thorsby's coach and I are familiar with each other, and neither one of us wanted to play a week 10.
Yeah.
But just knowing each other and knowing, you know, hey, we can, you know, we've had good games in the past and clean games. If either of us are headed to the playoffs, we know that we can, you know, keep everything under control.
Moving from 2A to 3A not only affects football, but other sports as well. Yeah,
all of our sports will be affected, and you know, the talk right now, basketball hasn't been released, and I think basketball will be released within the next week or two, and everybody's trying to figure out what's gonna happen, because everything's been area play, and you hear, you know, all the different thoughts and ideas, and one of the ideas is basketball may go to region play, and then I've heard that, you know, if they go region play, it's gonna be the same region as your football program. Right. I've heard it'd be different, you know, so like when they released our region, they released volleyball area. Well, we go from here south for football. Volleyball has Altamont, Midfield, Chillsburg, and Comer is the volleyball area. So we're all Birmingham and back this way. So kind of a weird situation. I you know, I don't know. You know, around us, just in our little general location, there's not any 3A, so that does make it a little bit tougher for us.
Being the athletic director, and you know, money drives everything, and you gotta have a good gate, and you got travel expenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, the travel involved. I think the bus rate is up to like $1.50 a mile. So you think $1.50 a mile. There and back, and then you times it by 2 for football buses, because we'll take 2 buses. Man, that's a lot of travel. Yeah. So, and that's why we play, you know, like Vincent. That was a no-brainer for us, because it's always been a good game. It's been a good gate. It was our turn to go there, so we'll be able to get that in return in 25. But yeah, the finances drive it all. The money drives it all, and as far as making sure that the program's taken care of, and we've got to have those good gates, and we've had some great gates in the past. We've been fortunate to have the playoff gates and to be able to utilize those monies. So equipment-wise, we've been able to upgrade a lot of things, and football helps drive some other sports. Sure. I mean, just being honest, football helps pay for some travel of some non-revenue sports, and to help make sure that we have subs for track meets when we have to be gone, and things like that. So all of that kind of goes together. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'll I will say that we're about 10 times better financially right now than when I first got here 6 years ago. So we can breathe a little bit better in that aspect.
And you got a good organization. The athletic club helps out a lot as well.
Yeah. All sports boosters help out, and the Alumni Association helps out a ton. And man, those groups, we would have a hard time functioning without them. They help us out big time. And you know, anytime I can pick up the phone and they hardly tell me no. They try to make it happen. So, and I appreciate those efforts. I will tell you, and no better platform than now to kind of bring it up. Next year is the 100th year of Comer football.
Wow.
And we're looking at some special activities on Friday nights, and we want to recognize some.
Are you talking about this coming season? Okay.
Yeah. So looking forward to those things. Trying to reach out to some people, and we're all working on coming up with a logo. 100 years logo, and hoping to recognize some former players, hoping to recognize some former coaches, and just kind of bring it all full circle, because there's been a lot of people that have made all this happen over the years.
Absolutely. And Coach Adam Fossett, head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer, moving from 2A to 3A this fall. And you don't do spring football. And again, the reasoning behind that decision.
Yeah, we don't do spring because most of our athletes are playing multiple sports, and they started last June and they haven't stopped since. So even if my baseball players, if they're done end of April, track is done at the beginning of May, it's just tough to get those guys in and work on getting 9 practices and then play a game in. And it's just, it's more of a stress thing than anything. And I believe in giving those guys that little area off, and then we hit the ground running in June with morning workouts and strength and conditioning and getting ready for that. We'll have a couple 7-on-7s, a couple OTAs, and during the summer, and then we'll get started as soon as we can, because by not having spring, we get to start a week early.
I'm told, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, that BB Comer was real strong in 2A, but 3A is going to be a question mark because you're stepping up. But a number of these teams you're playing, you're familiar with.
Yeah, I think the question mark, when people look, obviously and I feel it as well. There's going to be some. Obviously, we talked earlier about the losing of 12 guys and other guys stepping up. So I can see where there's going to be some questions for it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. We will be as successful as our senior leadership takes us, and that puts it on them.
And how many seniors you have coming back?
We'll have 7. Okay. So I think 7 seniors. Yeah. So
that's a small class.
That is a small class, but it comes down to the leadership of those guys, and I can tell you we've seen some changes in our weight room over the past couple weeks, and just a lot of effort, a lot of good workouts, and I've seen some guys put some guys back on the bench and tell them to finish their reps and do the weight they're supposed to, and so I'm seeing the wheels turning in that aspect, and we've just got to continue to get after it. Right now is when we're really going to make our make our steps towards being successful, because in the weight room, that's where we've been blessed in the past, is our guys bought into the weight room and busted their butt in there. So,
well, winning breeds winning, and BB Comer the last several years have been very successful on the gridiron. But it's what you've done for me lately.
No doubt. Nobody remembers the past. They remember the now. So, and that's the thing. It's we've got to continue pushing ahead, and what I would encourage our fan base to understand is that this is going to be a different group of kids, and at the end of the day, man, the wins and losses are exciting, but at the end of the day, my job is to make these guys better men. It's my staff's job to make these guys better men, and we're going to really refocus on that as we move ahead, and kind of make sure that we're leading them in the right direction as well.
100 years. That's a long time. How old were you when that?
I was negative.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer, our guest this morning. Coach, let's do it again as we get closer to summertime and summer workouts, and hope you have a great day at school today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
More Daybreak coming up right after this.